Hey guys, it's Kat, and today I'm going to be doing my 30-week update, which is crazy. I can't believe it's already been like 15 weeks since I've started these. I'm pretty sure I started them at 15 weeks. Man, that's crazy. I mean, like, I remember when I first was pregnant, like, thinking, wow, my 30-week appointment is so far away, and I thought the glucose test and everything was so far away, and I'm like, nah, I've done it all. And then before I know it, the baby will be here, which is crazy. Like, it just happens so fast. I mean, I've been trying to take in as many moments of, like, enjoying being pregnant recently because, especially now that I feel her movements, like, I just try to, like, soak it in, you know? Because, I mean, you can't have it back once you give birth. You can't, like, put her back in there, you know? I mean, obviously then it's better because she's actually here and I can, like, hold her and stuff, but I also am then responsible for another human. I mean, it's just like, like, that reality is setting in to an extent. I don't think it'll fully set in until I actually have her in my arms. And even then, I feel like it's just gonna, like, never fully set in that, hey, I'm a mom. Anyways, she's growing really well, which I was a little worried about because I haven't been gaining as much weight, and, like, it probably was only a week. I checked the scale and I, like, really wasn't gaining any weight. Like, what? I haven't gained any weight in a week? What? And I was like, is she growing? Did she stop growing? And I was kind of just panicking because, you know, I haven't seen her in 10 weeks. And even though I've felt her move and had the NST done multiple times, I think like 3 times now, I still was nervous just because, like, I don't know, I had spent a minute, you know? And she is weighing approximately 3 pounds and 7 ounces, which is good. She's in the 47th percentile, which is right on track. I was a little nervous she was either going to be too big or too small. When I was born, I weighed like 3 pounds and 4 ounces, so she's already doing better than me. And I was born at 32 weeks, and I'm only 30 weeks, so. But again, they're not entirely accurate. Obviously, they can't, like, set her on a scale to weigh her. All of her measurements are good. My cervix is, like, measuring 4 something. So, that's good. I'm showing no preterm labor signs, which is good. Although, I don't know if my mom did. I mean, like, her water kind of just, like, broke, and she was like, I think I'm having this baby. So, and it can happen all of a sudden. And then some people, like, know when it's coming. I don't really know. But after I get past that 32-week point, I will have my birthing classes. And, like, once I get those done, I should have a majority of my questions answered. And if not, I'll have another set of questions to bring into my doctors, which she just loves, I'm sure. But she's prepared. She knows I bring in, like, a set of questions. Which brings me to my next point, what I talked about today. I don't tell you guys everything that I ask her because, like, some of the stuff is just, like, getting a further explanation on things, and, like, you know, like, the ultrasound pictures I got, I had her explain the different things to me, and, yeah. There's some concerns I brought up to her, like, just the fact that I was born at 32 weeks, and things I should watch out for, and, you know, making sure I was doing all that I needed to be doing, things to watch out for as far as, like, ingredients and stuff, which, honestly, I'm this far along. If any of those ingredients haven't affected anything yet, they probably wouldn't. Like, you should worry about this in your first trimester, not your third. I mean, you obviously should still be careful, but yeah. This part's going to be a little TMI for once I'm actually going to give that warning. I've had a little more vaginal discharge than I had my entire pregnancy. Like, I haven't had it that bad. I mean, it was, like, a little worse than, like, before I got pregnant, and then recently it's gotten even more. But it wasn't enough to worry me that it was, like, my water breaking or anything that, like, deal preterm labor. And she said that that was totally normal, that it's just a hormonal thing. I also brought up my concerns about my allergies. It's kind of just rough because if I take my allergy medicine to kind of, like, break up the mucus and make it to where I'm not, like, choking on the mucus, it then dries out my throat, which then makes me, like, uncomfortable in different ways. Like, I either have one pain or another, and the allergy medicine, like, just dries you out, and it's hard for me to stay hydrated as it is. Like, it was drying me out and I was drinking a gallon of water a day. Yeah, that happens. And I was just like, oh my gosh, where's all this water going? I mean, like, I feel like that's like all I am is just water. Like, no baby, not even just water. Or at least I feel like that's what I need to be. I don't know. I just know that that is such a key thing, is to stay hydrated, and I say it in every single one of my videos, but I'm going to keep on saying it because staying hydrated is so important, and I'm so sick of feeling like I'm dying because I'm not hydrated, and I try so hard, and I feel like I need to have an IV in me all the time that's just like putting fluids into me. Because I also am sick of having to pee all the time, so it's like a little rough with that too. Trying to keep up with between peeing and drinking water. I feel like that's all I'm doing. Peeing, sleeping, drinking water. Wow, that sums up my day. I also was asking about I think I'm getting some sort of pregnancy insomnia. It's not diagnosed as that, but like a very mild case, you know. I just am having more sleeping issues, and it's gotten even worse where I've like been super tired and I just can't sleep. Like last night, I just couldn't sleep. I was exhausted. I was like ready to sleep. Any other time that like I can't sleep like that, it's usually because I'm not tired enough, or I just like, I don't know, or I'm sick, but nope, I'm just pregnant. I mentioned about gaining weight. I don't know if I said how much I've gained. I've only gained about 8 pounds from my pre-pregnancy weight, but to be fair, I lost like 10 pounds in my first trimester, around that, and it kind of like leveled back out. So in reality, I probably gained a little bit more than that. I'll insert my bump date now, but everyone's different with how much weight they gain and how they show it and things like that. Some people gain a ton of weight as far as a scale, but don't look pregnant at all, and vice versa. Everything's right on track, and that's really all I care about. I don't care about what the scale says. I don't care about how I look entirely. I mainly just care that she's healthy and growing properly, and that I'm not dying. I guess it's another thing. Probably should care about that too. My health. I guess I meant looks like my belly size. I have this misconception that pregnancy would make me look like more toned as far as like where my fat was before, and I was like, oh, it'll just kind of like transform to a baby. No, it completely is emphasized like on my back and everything. Like, I was like, where did that back fat even come from? I was like, I knew I had some before, but like, man, I feel like it's gotten worse. And I think it's just like, it's not going to go anywhere, and then when you have a bump, it kind of just like brings more attention to the area. And but yeah, that was a fun misconception. I should make a whole video on like the misconceptions I had about pregnancy, because I had a lot. Like, I had this whole idea of what pregnancy was, how it went, and I watched hundreds of pregnancy videos. I've been around a lot of pregnant people and like asked them a million questions, and somehow I still didn't figure out that these misconceptions that I had were misconceptions. I guess expectation versus reality. All jokes aside, that kind of brings me into my last point, and this is also something a lot of people have been saying, like asking me about and bringing up to me. And I think most people are just like trying to look out for me and give me advice and like are actually concerned and trying to help. But it's a lot of people. Like, I am pretty surprised at how many people point out my belly button piercing. I got my belly button pierced in like March of 2013, I believe. Because it was like 4+ years ago. Yeah. Like, by the time I have her, it'll have been 4.5 years. Which is crazy to think that I've had my belly button pierced that long. Anyways, they struggled to get my skin up when they were piercing it. Like, there wasn't enough skin to like pull up. And they had to like force more skin to come up. And honestly, I think even that wasn't enough. And there should have been a little bit more skin. I just think in general, there probably wasn't enough skin there in the first place to do the piercing. And I probably shouldn't have done it. But like, the piercer didn't say anything about it. And I was young, so what did I know? And I mean, honestly, even if I like had that happen now, I wouldn't know that there wasn't enough skin. And I've never been told there wasn't. This is just like my own take on it, my own theory. So I don't know if you can see the redness around my belly button piercing. I don't have a ton of stretch marks yet, but I do have a few, which I tried to like show on the camera. I do moisturize like 2 to 3 times a day, if not more. I have like this sore spot like below my belly button. It's not even like close to my actual belly button. It's just like that middle part right there, where I think it's like also the darkest part. that gets super itchy and sore. So I tend to put like a little bit more there throughout the day too, instead of itching it, kind of trying to put more lotion so it's not as itchy. And then my belly button's kind of like pushed out. Not a ton, but like it's just like more flat than anything. It hasn't completely popped out. So I guess that'll be interesting to see the transformation of that over the next couple weeks. But as far as the actual piercing, so I'm going to explain this the way my doctor explained it to me, or I'm going to attempt to. I'm not good with terminology, as I've mentioned in all of my videos. I shouldn't say all, but like a good majority of them. I'm kind of repetitive, but it's in case someone only watches that one video and doesn't know this. So basically, the skin that's above the piercing, the part that's like on the top part of the hole, I guess, if that makes sense, like where the piercing goes through, that is, all around that area is going to be scar tissue because, you know, you pierced your skin. You put a hole through your skin. And the hole, some people have a lot of issues with their belly button ring. The main concern is if it gets uncomfortable or irritated, you really have to watch out for that because, you know, that's not good. And if it's getting it too tight, like the hole is kind of closing because your belly's pushing out, then you should probably take it out. I've now gone to a longer pregnancy belly button ring. That way I don't have to worry about that. It's a little bit thinner than the normal metal one, and it's more flexible than the normal metal one, so it's more comfortable. The metal one didn't entirely irritate me, but I feel like at this point it probably would have a little bit, just because it's not long enough. So the skin is stretching on top of it, and then the tissue, I guess, is stretching, and it's going to happen whether the piercing's there or not. I don't have any pain or uncomfort with it, so unless I do randomly gain pain and uncomfort from it, I can keep it in. She said it's not going to make a difference if your piercing's in there or not. It's going to do the exact same thing. Now, here's where you got to kind of watch. You also got to watch it not getting snagged on stuff because obviously that skin's probably a little bit more sensitive and prone to like tearing. So if you get your belly button ring stuck on something and it like rips, you could like rip your belly button out, like your belly button ring out. And obviously that's painful. This is my own take. This isn't what she said. As far as the like ripping your belly button piercing, I've already said all that she said. So I feel like that's something to definitely watch out for. Because I have noticed like it get caught on things, but not like bad and not to where like, most of the time I just wasn't paying attention. I really don't have an issue with it. And like obviously if it starts like pulling, I like stop whatever I'm doing. Lost my train of thought. Point is, the area is a bit more sensitive, so you should probably watch out, and just keeping an eye on it is the main thing. And I haven't had any issues with it. It's going to do the same thing either way. The piercing is not pushing the skin up at all. It's not stretching it out, like it's stretching itself, you know. So it is fine. I've had a lot of people say, does it hurt? Are you going to take it out? You should take it out, things like that, and it's like, it's fine. Mine's fine. However, most people do get uncomfortable. But I also had mine for 4.5 years, so yeah. Plus, I also transitioned into the pregnancy belly button ring pretty early, and I don't have that big of a belly, in my opinion. For my body, maybe, but like, I've seen people this size at like 15 weeks. So everyone's body is different. I've talked to piercers about it too, just kind of like when I've joked about pregnancy and the belly button and belly button rings, and they've all kind of just said, as long as it's not uncomfortable, it's fine. Like, you can leave it in, just make sure you're moisturizing, and it may not look the prettiest, but it's going to do the same thing either way, as long as it's not actually affecting anything like the ring itself. It's really hard to explain, I feel like, because it's a concept that I didn't really understand, like how. But that hole is still going to be there. It's not stretching the hole anymore, and it's not affecting the skin around it. It's just the fact that the piercing hole is there. It's the piercing hole, not the piercing itself. So that was a really long explanation, but I wanted to address that because I've gotten so many comments not on YouTube, but like in life about it. There's different like aches and pains that I've had that I like kind of just made sure were okay. I mentioned this in one of my recent videos that I was also at the ER again, but I was only there because it was like after hours, so I couldn't come into the doctor's office, and they were just doing the NST because I hadn't felt her move, and it was like she took a vacation for a day or so and wasn't really moving much. Oh shoot, I didn't even mention this at the beginning. I should have when I was talking about ultrasounds. So I have it where the placenta is anterior, and it's kind of a pain as far as where it's located too, because you know, anterior, like the front, but it can also be located lower or higher and stuff to where you can still see the baby's face, like on the ultrasound for the 3D ultrasound and stuff. But she had her face like full on in the placenta. There was no fluid or like hardly any fluid around her, so we couldn't see her face for 3D, which I thought I'd be more devastated about. Like at the beginning of my pregnancy, I was like, I better be able to see her face on a 3D ultrasound. Like, I need to see it. But like, I don't know, I just don't care. Like, the pictures aren't like vivid, and just it's hard to tell anyways, and it's not that big of a deal, and you can't do anything about it, so I'm gonna see her in like 10 weeks anyways. And again, it's just an ultrasound picture. It's not like it's a real like realistic looking photo to where I could actually make her look, and where I could actually like imagine her looking anything like a little alien. Because really, like, that's kind of what they look like. Or like a painting is what I said earlier. That sounds a little more nice. A little less harsh. So anyways, sometimes the way she's positioned, it can be really hard to feel or see her move, which is also why I don't take a lot of videos of her moving. A lot of the time she's moving when I'm sitting in like weird positions, and so you can't really tell that she's moving on the outside other than like feeling it. Like on video you can't see it, or you can, but it just looks weird, and I don't know, I just don't feel a need to take a video of it much. I've gotten a few. I posted them to Snapchat, but that's it. I don't really put it further than that because I do keep some of that stuff private, so. No, once you put it out there, it's not entirely private, but I just don't like have it out there on my page for people to look at all the time because my belly looks weird. I mean, it's a pregnant belly. So. But anyways, it can block from being able to feel her movements if she's laying a certain way. She tends to put her head down by my bladder. Every ultrasound that I've got, she did that. So she likes to be right by my bladder. Which also makes sense why I randomly have to pee, and I don't actually have to pee, but like I kind of have to pee because, you know, she's putting pressure on my bladder. Which is fun. But then she also like puts her feet in my ribs or something. I don't understand like the way the ultrasound is, like how they, like where she's located compared to like where the ultrasound thing is on me, like the, what's it called, like the stick thingy that they use to, there's no one here, I don't know why I'm acting like I could ask somebody and get a response. The dog, I can tell that she'll put her feet up in my ribs and put her head by my bladder, and she's just all sorts of upside down, so I don't know. Her positioning's real funky, and it always is. She's like a little gymnast in there, which makes sense. Because, like, she's taken after the family. Not about the gymnast, but, like, just being active like that. I think for the most part, she's a pretty active baby inside of me, and I'm curious how that's going to be, like, after. If she's still going to be very active, if she's going to be super sleepy, like, how she's going to be. I'm excited to get to know who she is. Like, wondering who she'll be is such a crazy concept. It's weird to think about. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my 30-week update. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. I'm going to continue to do some updates, but I don't know. I'm having my appointment every 2 weeks now, but there's just not always a lot to update you on. Like, I didn't have a ton to update you on besides what the doctor told me, and I don't get ultrasounds every time, and I wouldn't have had much to tell you had I not gotten an ultrasound done, so I'll try to keep you updated, but I don't know how much of an update I can give you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!